XRP will leave a dent in the universe. I truly believe that things like XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, WLFI, HBAR, cryptos like that are truly going to be part of the infrastructural change of our financial system. Now, I'm only ever going to share with you what I'm doing on my channel. What I'm encouraging you to do is really go deeper than just getting rich quick or trying to catch the next hype. What I really want you to understand at a deep level through financial literacy is the dramatic change in your financial system. The system can't continue the way it is. Think about this. Over the last 18 years, about 18 years ago, we had a flip phone. We went into smartphones. Facebook was created, I think, sorry if I get the dates wrong, about 18, 20 years ago. Now we operate on Zoom calls and iPhones and FaceTime and AI technology. So, with messaging moving at the speed of light, money has to move at the speed of light. So, when you think about the things that you want to invest in for the future, really ask yourself which ones are going to survive regulation. Okay. The system is rewiring. The very banks that told you that crypto is a fraud, it's used for money laundering, are going to be the exact same banks here in the next 6 to 7 months that are going to be asking to do institutional custody for your crypto, that are going to be coming to you, the financial advisors. Trust me, they're being educated on it right now, that are going to come to you and say, hey, listen, why don't we allocate 1 to 4% into things like Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, probably Ethereum? So here's the key factor is don't go too wide, guys. Think about the boom and bust cycles. Comment down below. What are the top 3 auto companies? Think about technology. After the dot-com boom, what were the 3 top companies? Keep yourself safe. Be stoic. Be calm. Some of you are going to have the Amazon moment, the Apple moment. It's not timing the markets, it's time in the market. So today I'm going to talk specifically, we're going to watch about a 6-minute video around Ripple, Evernorth, XRP, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper and continue to go deeper into the understanding of what's happening with the infrastructure financial change. But along with that, I'm going to mix in a lot of financial literacy, right? What is the economy? What is it changing to, right? You can't kick the can down the road too much further. 1 trillion in credit card debt, 120 debt to income ratio. There's only interest in the system. So you know that you're paid in someone else's debt. We need to learn to transmute our cash into assets that have fixed supply. You need to play offense and you need to play defense. And I'll share with you my strategy on the back end. So we're going to watch this video. This is live from Market State with Evernorth, which is the XRP treasury. And what you're going to start to see in the future here in your banks, probably in the next 12 months, is you're going to see XRP at your local bank through an ETF. And what's the difference? I'm going to do an education video on this. Is most likely regular everyday people are going to invest through an ETF, right? They're going to invest in IBIT, Bitcoin's ETF. They're going to go into things like XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs. That's an exchange traded fund where you have exposure to the asset through a stock. You get the benefit of the price appreciation, the negative of the depreciation, right? And you don't have to hold it on an exchange. You don't have to hold it in your cold wallet. So that's probably the safest way to get exposure. I would rather hold the actual asset, but that is most likely where most people are going to get exposure. Okay, check this out.
From NASDAQ's market site, I'm your host, Christina Ayanian. And joining me today is Ashish Birla, CEO of Evernorth. Ashish, thank you so much for joining. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So we have a lot of exciting news to celebrate. Evernorth is gearing up for a Q1 2026 IPO. How is this shaping your strategy to getting institutions on board?
By the way, I'm going to pay attention to that IPO and I'm definitely going to get into Evernorth.
And the digital asset space overall.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I've been in blockchain since 2013, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. We have the right kind of regulation, we have the right kind of administration, and institutions are ready to adopt. And Evernorth provides an easy way for institutions in the public markets to gain exposure to XRP, the digital asset underpinning Evernorth's digital asset treasury.
So it sounds like the shift that we're in really opens up interesting opportunities. What are some of the core strengths that Evernorth has that attracts public investors?
Yeah, so if you think about how you get access to exposure in digital assets prior to Evernorth, is that you would have to go and
Th-
uh,
This is important. Okay, listen.
custody digital assets on your own. You'd have to worry about compliance. You'd have to worry about security. And hey, a subset of users and institutions are okay with that, but a large lion's share just want to buy a public stock. So we made it as easy as buying a public stock, and we'll figure that stuff out for you.
Mhm.
Use that, and you can gain exposure to XRP, a digital asset, the third largest digital asset, today in the United States.
But there are still a lot of gaps in today's infrastructure. How are you positioned to solve this?
Yeah, so listen, there's a lot of regulatory issues, it's compliance issues, there's the security issues that I mentioned. And then you have to, if you want to participate in all the interesting things happening on the blockchain ecosystem, you have to figure that out as well. Or you could just buy the XRPN stock, Evernorth stock, and we'll figure that stuff out for you. So we did a lot of that heavy lifting. We're experts. We've been building products. My team has been building products in blockchain since 2013. We're the right operational team to make this happen. We package all that up for you. You just buy the stock, XRPN, that's the Evernorth stock, and we'll take care of all that heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so that's the key factor. Okay, everything is about convenience, guys. Yes, we're in crypto, we're buying it on our wallet, and we're storing it in, in hard wallets, right? We're doing all that stuff. But Mrs. Jones, the normal everyday person, the person working hard and going home, spending time with their family, is most likely going to get exposure through an ETF. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, and the reason why I stay so focused on my top 7, and I'm going to be consolidating into my top 4, which will be XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, and Solana. I'm going to be hyper concentrated, and I'm going to start to move profits up into there. And then I'm going to stick with my XXI, ABTC. That's my offensive side. And then I'm going to start building a monster defensive side as well, because when the cycle goes up, I'm going to pull profits. I'm going to build my defense side. And then when everybody goes running, when it comes collapsing down, because there'll be another 10, 10, 20, 25, I promise you, it's not a super cycle. Markets are the same. It's been 200 years of markets, 30 major market collapses. It will come back down. So you need an offensive defenses. So when everything's collapsing, I borrow from defense and I go back into offense to repeat the cycle. But I'm going to keep my crypto safe. I'm going to keep it in cryptocurrencies that I believe are going to survive regulation. Now, here's some more is that the right word? My dyslexia. Solidification. I get to make up my own language. Okay, so Ripple right here. We've secured our primary, and I showed you guys this yesterday, but I'm going to have you listen to the audio of this as well.
I'm Cassie Craddock, VP and Managing Director of the UK and Europe at Ripple, and I'm thrilled to announce that we've been granted our license to bring our crypto-enabled cross-border payment solution to the European Union. European customers can now access real-time settlement, global on and off ramps, and last mile payouts, and it's all managed end-to-end using Ripple's market-leading digital asset technology. The region is striding into the future of digital finance, and Ripple is here to power it.
Powerful stuff, guys. All right, 75 licenses, registrations worldwide, 95 billion in volume, processed to date, reaching 90% of daily FX markets, right? So if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on this horse personally, and I am, because it's my number one holding. Markets up a bit, reports XRP as South Korea's most traded digital asset in 2025. Over 1 trillion in volume processed on the exchange. This was interesting. That was posted by Omar here. Bank of America CEO on why stablecoin shouldn't pay interest. So the reason why I wanted to show you this, and I highly recommend you go pull up his tweet here. I think he highlights it right here. Yep. Quick summary. Interest on stables, mass deposit flight. Okay. We're going through, it's like it's its own 1929, liquidation of the banks, right? So there's this big battle between TradFi and DeFi, which is decentralized finance, and they are going to merge. I promise you guys. So Bank of America, Chase, they're all going to emerge into custodying your crypto. They're going to have to emerge into DeFi. Is the worlds are going to have to come together, because we have choice now. That's why I love WLFI. Okay. Fully reserved money, no fractional leverage. Banks lose free funding, profit goes bye-bye, right? So that's the whole key of this. And just to kind of demystify all this, we're moving into a decentralized environment. That's how it works. So let's take a look at the markets here. So this is Merlin, smartest way to track your crypto. This is our demo account here. So the markets right now, Bitcoin's at 95,000, ETH at 3,300, BNB at 934, XRP sitting at 206. Okay, so I do want to talk to you guys about Merlin. It is the smartest way to track your crypto. This is my company. Anything I talk about here is something I own or I've created myself. Merlin, we created this based on people's getting wrecked in cryptocurrency. Okay, what we saw is, and this is how we built wealth, is as crypto went up, we pulled profits. Okay, people are telling you, hold your crypto, rubberneck, go up and down. You need an offensive and defensive strategy. We pull from offense on the way up by using Merlin exit strategies, and then we pull down into defense. We wait for a 10, 10, 20, 25. People get caught with their pants down. Warren Buffett, the tide goes out. We go back in and we buy more. That's how markets work, guys. Offense, defense, which I'll break down a little bit deeper. So basically what we do at Merlin here, we show you how to set up an exit strategy. Okay, we educate you. You just go get started. How-to videos. We show you how to set up an X plan. If you get stuck, we got the greatest customer service in the world. We pride ourselves in all of our companies in customer service. We can help you set up an exit plan. All your exchanges in one place. And then my favorite thing about Merlin, this is just an interface, guys. It shows all your crypto in one place. So when I'm traveling around, I use Merlin. I do not connect to what. So for example, I'm doing quite a bit of traveling coming up for some premieres and I'm excited about that's coming up. So pay attention. I'll be in Phoenix for a premiere, or Scottsdale for a premiere of a documentary we're in, and LA coming up very, very soon here. So when I'm traveling at hotels, I use Merlin because it's interface. It's not attached to your crypto. They hack Merlin, they hack data. So keep your crypto safe, set up your exit strategies. And we teach you how to do that as well. So that's in my, what is it called? The description down below. And then my social media platform, click the link, 30 days for free. Try it before you buy it. I'm so confident. Be careful before you try it because you are going to buy it because it's amazing. Okay. Again, I'm the co-founder and creator of that. So let's talk about offensive and defensive. I'm trying to find better ways to explain this. And yes, I'm going to repeat myself over and 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 over again because there's 8 billion people in the world. Okay. We reach about 30 million a month. And so that means I got a lot of work to do. Okay. And here's my lesson. Okay. I ran into somebody not too long ago out in public, and they said to me, I stopped following you because you say the same shit every day. They didn't say shit. I don't know why I just said that. You say the same stuff every day. They didn't say shit. I don't know. It sounded better in the story. I don't know. I said, you said the same stuff every day. And I said, interesting. And I said, when did you stop following me? I said, 2025. And I said, so let me ask you a question. I said, has your life changed? They're like, no. They were honest. They're like, no. I said, in your feedback is the lesson. Okay. I hear this all the time. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge enacted upon is power. Discipline, consistency done for a long enough period of time will allow you to access a new paradigm. You can bitch, you can complain, you can comment down below. The same people attack me all the time on social. It's a repetitive pattern over and over. It's the same people. They come up and they come back, and they go away and they come back. And it's like, okay, I'm going to keep evolving. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep building ecosystems. I'm going to keep protecting my family at all costs. And I'm going to keep feeding my ecosystem. An idiot with a plan will do way better than a genius with no plan. I'm not the smartest cat in the world. I have severe dyslexia. I struggled through school. I ruined my life almost 19 years ago, completely ruined my life. And I built back up. And I did it through discipline. And I did it through systems. So I realized that I had a very disciplined physical plan, a very disciplined spiritual plan. And I was like, whoa, why don't I have a disciplined financial plan? Why am I just relying on another man or woman to manage my money? That's hope. Hopium is dead. Okay. So I created an offensive and a defensive strategy, and I trademarked it. It's called Capital DR. It's not an investment. It's a system. It's a system that teaches you that money is debt, that you trade time for money and you get paid in someone else's debt. And your job is to transmute your income, which is debt, into cash flow, transmute the cash flow into assets that beat inflation. I don't care what you use for your asset. I'm going to tell you the ones that I use, but you need to educate yourself on what works for you. When your assets beat inflation and they go up, you pull profits. And when you pull profits, you go into defensive mode. Okay. So C is cash flow. That would be somewhat offensive, right? Cash flow, that would be offensive because cash flow is income, right? That's our active income. And often cash flow or offensive looks like this, okay? We're trying to score a touchdown. That could be your businesses, could be your income from your job. From your income from your job or your businesses, you want to take a portion of that and create more cash flow. I use dividend stocks. You could do a side hustle, whatever it is. You're taking income and you're multiplying it, okay? From our cash flow from our dividends and our cash flow from our business is what I do. Outside of debts and non-negotiables, I run lean and mean on the personal side. All else I invest. I move it into A, assets. That's the A category, okay? That's offense, okay? Offense looks like this. It goes up, it goes down, it cycles, and it's going to cycle over and over again. There's going to be market collapses. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. So in the offensive side, you got to move and groove, right? We got to watch the markets. We got to look at interest rates. We got to look at inflation, okay? Remember, money is printed at the top and it gets really expensive by the time it gets to us. The people at the top move the debt, the printed money, into assets, and they own all the stuff that we buy. Okay, they sell us when we're coming in to get rich quick, and they buy when we're running from the fire. Okay, so your A is offense. I use XRP, Bitcoin. We're gonna move Bitcoin into L. We're never selling Bitcoin, but all the rest: XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, Solana, HBAR, XLM, and VeChain. Those are my top 7. I'm going to be hyper concentrating on XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, WFI. Let's move these two, WFI and then Solana. That's in order, okay? That's what I choose to do. Do you, boo? Okay, that's what I'm doing. Those are my top 4. I've learned to not be too spread out, okay? It doesn't work. You don't need 100 here and 100 here and chasing all these different influencers trying to tell you the next best token. When it goes green, guys, everybody's going to come out with the next best token, the next best thing. You're going to get wrecked. Just take wise counsel on that, please. Then on the stock side, ABTC, American Bitcoin, XXI. My zone of competency is digital assets. So I'm staying where my zone of competency is, okay? Maybe yours is tech. Maybe yours is AI. Then stick in your zone of competency, okay? And then where are we at there? That's offensive, okay? So offensive, when it goes up, I'm pulling profits besides Bitcoin. We're going to move that to L, okay? And we're going to move it into defense. So P is protection in capital DR. My number one foundation is insurance, cash value, life insurance, okay? It is the ultimate offensive, defensive with leverage. There's nothing like it. Offensive is market-like returns in my index universal life policy. Defensive is principal is insured, which is crazy. So when you come collapsing down, my profits are insured and I'm getting market. So I got offensive mixed with defensive and I get the leverage component. It has 3 components to it. And I have life insurance for my family. What man should do is protect his family. Okay. So that's defensive. Then we're getting into dollar cost averaging every month into silver. Okay. I'm started my dollar cost average into copper. So those are both defensive. That would be wealth preservation and defense from inflationary US dollar taking away my buying power. Okay. Then I've started dollar cost averaging in Berkshire. That's longevity, leadership, discipline, long term. So we got insurance, silver, copper, Berkshire. Those are my stabilities. When the markets collapse, the offense is going to collapse. The A is going to collapse, guys. It's going to come back down. It cycles every time. I go to L, leverage, and I borrow from my own family bank, my insurance, and we go back into offense and buy everybody's fear and let it cycle again. And as everybody's coming back in to get rich quick, we pull off of offense, we pay off the defense, and now we have free assets. I'm in capital DR number 3. I'm in my 3rd cycle now. I'm waiting for what I think is going to happen on the back end this year, and I'll be feeding the ecosystem. Do you see how we're compounding? Okay. These people who are telling you just to hold on and just watch it go up and down, borrow from your assets. Do not borrow from your crypto. I tried to warn people, and then 10, 10, 20. I warned people, don't leverage your crypto. And then 10, 20, 25 came, and we coached 14,000. We saw people's lives get ruined because they were listening to the price predictions, the hype, the hopium, and they started leveraging their crypto to live their lifestyle. And I'm like, you never leverage an asset unless you're going to buy cash flow or an asset that's going to appreciate over time. And the risk of liquidation, you have to understand the risk to reward ratio. You do not leverage to buy cars, watches, lifestyle. You leverage to buy cash flow. And you got to be patient enough to get your liabilities with assets. Okay. What I'd recommend is when you have a big price appreciation, get lean and mean on the debt side. So I have no credit card debt. I pay off my credit cards every single month if they're used. Okay. I have a little bit of debt. It'll actually be paid off Monday. So it can be completely debt free on the personal side. Okay. And I kept it very, very low. So as my income increases, I keep my percentage to my lifestyle percentage stays the same. So if my income goes up and you see my lifestyle, that means it's 15. My living expense is 15% of my income. I will always keep that measurement. Okay. So I heard this on socials. It was really good, and it's something that I agree with. Is that if you want to live $1 million lifestyle, $87,000 a month, you should have 25 million in net worth. Think about that. You should have 25 million. That means you can spend $87,000 a month. You should have $25 million. But what happens is people make $1 million and they spend $1 million. Okay. If you make $1 million, you should be living off like 30,000 and investing the rest. That's how you compound it. Okay. It could be two different people making $100,000 a year. One gets really wealthy and one is broke. It depends on which side of the interest quadrant they're on. That's it. If the 100,000 person on this side gets wealthy, they're earning interest. They're taking their income and they're putting into things that earn interest. This 100,000 person is taking their income and they're buying things that pay interest. That's it. It's not that emotional, guys. It's not that big of a deal. It's like it's an interest symbol. You're earning it or paying it. So every time you go to take your money somewhere, make sure you're earning it. Okay? If you make $100,000 a year, you should not be driving a $100,000 car. If you're making $50,000 a year, you should not be driving a $30,000 a year car. Okay. If you make $1 million, yeah, you could drive a $100,000, $200,000 car. Okay. If you make $1 million a year, maybe, right? I would try to create a business and maybe create a business expense. There's just so many different things that you can do around there, but you got to invest after lifestyle. So debts and non-negotiables, and then invest the rest. And you can still do all the fun stuff, guys, but it just takes a little bit of time. And once you get there, I'm telling you, do you see what I explained? I explained a system, not a cryptocurrency that's going to make you rich, not a get rich quick, a systematic process. So like I told you, physically, spiritually, I got disciplined and I got my shit together financially. And I just feed the system and I feed the system. We pull earned income over into protection over here. And all this is protected with LLCs, trust, ecosystem. So you just start with maybe the first thing is you got to try to get that liquidity with an asset. Once you get the asset, you build the flywheel. Once you build the flywheel, you feed it. Okay, you feed it discipline. So I hope that helps. I really, really love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We have a badass education system. So we teach Capital DR, my system. Very proud to say we've had 14,000 people worldwide's lives impacted. We're going to be coming up on 15,000 here soon. So if you go down below on my social media platform or go on my social media platform, click the link, you can interview for the Capital DR. You can also set an appointment with my elite brokerage team. So I do own my own cash value life insurance team, brokerage, and it's a small team. They are all versed in my Capital DR strategy. They're all versed on how I use insurance. It's a free consultation because we want to educate people. Not everybody needs life insurance. It's all individually specific. It's really understanding your needs. We do a needs assessment and then we'll walk you through how we use it, what it looks like for you, and is it right fit for your family, right? Everybody should have insurance, right? Everybody should have some form of insurance to protect their family. So two different things there. There's the Capital DR, 3T Warrior Academy system, and then there's the insurance, two separate companies. And so I own all of these companies. Everything I talk about is my ecosystem. I'm very proud, and I stand on our companies, and I love you guys. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Love you guys.